Fury, there he gets a right handle, it's a big one for Wilder, down goes Fury, there's one from Fury, and it's an absolute violent brawl, but down goes Fury, dangerous with the offshot here, and there's him, what a step on a punch, he's got him in with the right hand, but it could be all over now, it will be now, that surely is going to be the end.
Yeah, we in here, man. First off, want to go ahead and give a shout out to all the people who joined the live stream early tonight. I appreciate you. It's been a little while. I've been about a day or so since I've been live. Got a lot of work to do, a lot of things going on. And to be quite honest with you, just got to find my bearings, man. Got to find my bearings. And, I did a lot of film studies over the past 24, 48 hours or so, going back, reviewing fights, and just trying to make sense of, what has happened in this Fury Wilder trilogy. We've talked about it a lot, not only on my channel, but a lot of other content creators' channels out here, as far as, what happened this past Saturday. But as a whole, I guess, and for me, this is what this live stream is going to be about. We're going to talk about the entire trilogy. And, we're going to talk about everything that has transpired from the very first fight into the third fight. The good, the bad, the ugly. And, we're just going to close this chapter. At the end of the day, what is done, and we have to move forward. But like I said, I do want to go ahead and at least give some closure to it, at least from my point of view. And for those of you who want to hear that point of view, I appreciate you guys stopping by. Make sure, of course, when you come in, swoop in, jab that like button, get the conversation going. get the YouTube algorithm pumping, let the people know we're in here having a nice conversation and chopping it up. I'll give a special shout out to my man Freddie Ruger, first one in the building tonight. I appreciate you. My man Yave, my man Razor, good to see you. Always good to see you. Antoine as well, an official member of the channel. SM, salute to you. Thank you for dropping by. The D-Boy 717 in the building. Omega Red in the building. GP in the building. I appreciate you. Dirty Chivo, what's good? Jay Smooth, what's good, my man? And Joshua Sawyer in the building. Yeah. So look, really just an open conversation tonight. Like I said, if you just joined, I've done a lot of film study, man, going back. You know, for me, how I conduct myself over here in Divine Sense Boxing, for most of you, and how you guys know how I do things out here is about boxing. You know what I mean? Trying to get to the truth, trying to understand, you know, what happens to a fighter during a fight, leading up to a fight, after a fight, all the little, you know, small, important but intricate details to the mindset of a fighter, the physical benefits and challenges of a fighter, you know, and this is how I look at it, you know. Other channels out here, you know, they approach it in a different way, you know, they look at a different perspective, but over here, you're going to hear it from a boxing perspective. And we're going to talk about the Fury Wilder trilogy, all three fights, like I said, from beginning to end, what transpired, what happened, what went good, what went wrong, the good, bad, the ugly. And I had to go back and watch the first fight, start from there. And every time, you know, it's crazy because leading up to the third fight, I watched the first and second fight probably a dozen times. All a part of my dissection of the third fight and my prediction and breakdown of the third fight. I went back and watched those two fights countless times. But the crazy thing is after the third fight is over and I go back and watch the first fight again, I see the first fight totally differently now. You know, and that's how this stuff works out here. You know what I mean? Because now we've seen the result of the third fight, and it makes us kind of think about certain things. Now, originally, I came out here and I said, last time I went live about this, I said that I don't think the weight made a difference in the third fight. And for that matter, the second fight, but in more particular fashion, the third fight. Okay. I originally said I don't think the weight mattered simply because if he comes in heavy, he can deal with the clinch better. But if he comes in lighter, he's going to struggle in the clinch more. There's pros and cons, right? That's basically what I said. I put a poll in the chat. I don't know if you guys remember when I went live, and the poll was quite split. A lot of people thought the weight did make a difference. A lot of people said no, it didn't. And a fair amount of people said the weight didn't matter at all. The result would have been the same. And like I said, initially, I said, I don't think the weight really mattered. I mean, yeah, the extra weight probably slowed him down a little bit, made him tired faster. But if he came in lighter, he would have got bullied even more in the clinch because Fury didn't fight in the third fight the way he did the first fight. In the first fight, he was on the back foot. And then, of course, in the third fight, he was coming forward in the clinch and trying to do roughhouse tactics. So my initial kind of like educated opinion is coming in light's probably not a good idea, knowing that Fury's going to come forward. But you know how I am, man. I never stop thinking. I never stop trying to understand. I never stop trying to make sense of certain situations, not only in boxing, but in life. And this is what I do. So, like I said, I went back and watched the first fight. There is just such a massive, distinct difference. I mean, completely night and day difference between the way Wilder moves in the first fight compared to the second and third fight. In the first fight, I believe he was 212, 215-ish, something like that. Okay. And going into the 12th round where he got that spectacular knockdown, he carried his power. You know, he didn't look tired. He was, I mean, he kind of got tired towards the end of the 12th because he tried to finish Fury when Fury got up. But going into that knockdown, I mean, he had the energy and the power and the speed to knock down Fury, right? And it's just literally, like I said, a night and day difference in comparison to how he's moving around the ring in the second and third fight. Now, I want to make most of this video, most of this live stream focused on the first and third fight. The second fight, I'm not really referring it too much because we all know about the speculations, and I'm not co-signing it per se. But what I will say is that to me, and what I've always said, is that he didn't look right entering the ring. That is my stance, and now I'm sticking to it. How you guys want to conduct business, as far as what allegations you co-sign and believe or not believe, that is up to you. We are all free thinkers. You've all seen different evidence. You can make your own conclusions. But from a fighter standpoint, from a man that's been around the sport for a very long time, my stance is firm that in the second fight, he didn't look himself. He didn't look right from the first round on. So I'm going to take the second fight. I'm going to put it in a box. I'm going to put it to the side. I'm going to say Fury won that fight. It is what it is. So I want to focus more so on the first and third fight. Like I said, the first fight, after we've seen the third fight, the first fight really stood out to me. How he was able to maintain his stamina. And there's 12, 22, 32, 25 pound, if not more, weight difference. Wilder gained 25 pounds of muscle from the first fight leading into the second and then into the third fight. That is a lot, okay? That is a lot for a man that is genetically, a tall, lean, athletic man, okay? That's a lot of weight to carry around. Then I started putting things in perspective as far as my background and what I do for a living, which is strength and conditioning. And I started plugging all the pieces in and thinking to myself, initially I thought maybe the extra weight would be good, as I said, so he can handle in the clinch. But now that I've plugged all the pieces in, now I'm starting to lean towards Wilder should have came in lighter. He should have came in lighter the third fight. He should have come in at maximum 220. Max. Minimum 212 to 220. That is Wilder's weight. And I will say this on record now. If Wilder decides to come back, and I believe he will. I know a lot of people think that he's going to retire, especially the haters. To be quite honest with you, they think he's done. If he comes back, he's going to come back at the 215, 220 mark. And we're going to see right away the difference. Whoever he decides to fight is probably going to be another devastating knockout. You heard it here first. And everybody's going to go back and say to themselves, yeah, the weight was a serious issue. It was a gamble. It was a gamble by Wilder's part. And this is not Malik Scott's fault. Malik Scott is not part of the strength and conditioning side. His job as a head trainer is to prepare a game plan on how to defeat Fury from a boxing perspective. The blame on the weight are the people around Wilder distributing his nutrition, his diet, and his strength and conditioning program. Now, we've already discussed, right, my previous live, that Kenneth Perry was good, man. Tony Forrester was good. Bronchies Boxing was good. Thanks for dropping by tonight. I appreciate you guys. O. Williams in the building. Andre in the building. Thanks for dropping by, guys, tonight. Kansas City Mac was good, my man. Thanks for dropping by. Stianya, what's good, man? Right. So, what was I saying? I want to make sure I shout out my boys in here, man, putting in that work in the comment section. Devontae, I see you. What's good, man? I see you. Yeah. So now I'm pretty much certain that he came in way too heavy, gassed out way too quick. And there's a lot of reasons other than the weight. Yeah. There's a lot more reasons just in, he was too big, he got tired. I mean, he was tight, a bit rigid. He came out super aggressive in the first round. Second round, throwing bombs. Pretty much every shot that he threw, even the jab, was with intention. You know, putting a lot of power behind these shots. Did emotion get the best of Wilder? Probably, yeah, probably. And then that extra added weight did not help. The first fight, you know, this is how it always goes in trilogies a lot of times. The first fight, it's the first time you're seeing your opponent, you know what I'm saying? And you're more or less going to come in at the weight that you've always been at. There's no need to change it. If it's not broke, don't fix it. The nerves are not as high because you're going in there and just basically doing what you always do. And that's what Wilder did in the first fight. Nothing flashy. No like game plan that's out of this world. He basically came out in the first fight and did what he'd always done, and you know, jab, you know, shield the jab, and then follow with the right hand. That's what he did the entire fight. But the biggest difference is that he was able to maintain his stamina and his endurance. And his punch output in the first fight is a lot more than the second and the third fight, probably combined. Right? So I want to go back real quickly, loop back into what I was saying about the strength and conditioning side of things. I touched on it before. Maybe some people haven't listened to it yet, so I'll retouch that subject so people have a clear understanding on where I'm coming from. We're breaking down this entire trilogy, people. We're going from the beginning to the end and how it's all unfolded, the good, the bad, the ugly. KSI, what's good, my man? Deanna Branch in the building. Hope you're doing good tonight. So, TS Boxing, I see you. Stormy B-Man in the building. Always good to have the sensei in the building, man. Tim Nick, how are you tonight? Sid, UK. Hope you're good out there. We got 33 people in the chat. We should have 33 likes, no problem. Easy work. Right, so I want to loop back into the strength and conditioning side of things. A lot of what happened in the third fight could have been avoided if there was the right game plan implemented on the strength and conditioning side. I do not, and I repeat, I do not blame this loss on Malik Scott. A lot of people out here have been throwing Malik Scott under the bus. Okay? There was a vast difference in the corner during the fight in comparison to Mark Breland, right? Malik Scott, Mark Breland. Malik Scott, adamant, encouraging, a real, you know, mentor and friend in the corner during a fight. And a lot of the reason why Wilder was even able to go into the 11th round after taking damage and being completely exhausted and had nothing left was because of Malik Scott. So let me make that clear. For all you people out there discrediting Malik Scott, like Roger Mayweather says, you don't know shit about boxing. So I want to just leave that there. And once again, the fact that Wilder got tired, the fact that Wilder was gassed out by basically the third round, the fact that Wilder came in at 238, possibly 240 on fight night, has nothing to do with Malik Scott. It goes down to the nutritionalist, the dietarian, whoever's planning his meals, and planning meals so he can put on muscle. That you don't just add muscle on accident, especially at 35, 36 years old. That doesn't happen on accident. You got to eat a certain way, 3 to 4 times a day, a lot of calories, especially when you're a big man like Wilder. You got to eat a lot, okay? A lot. Then it comes down to the training side of things. Where do you pack on the muscle? Wilder's never had a problem with his upper body strength, his back strength, his chest strength, his pushing strength with his triceps, his shoulders. Never had problems there, right? So all of these little small details made a big difference in a fight, in a trilogy match, where Fury doesn't respect Wilder's boxing skill. And we saw that in the 4th round when he nearly got laid out. He got knocked out because he got sloppy and because he doesn't respect Wilder's boxing skill, and he thought Wilder was out. He thought Wilder was done, and that's why he got caught. So I will stand very firm in my stance in saying that if Wilder would have came in at about 220, focus his training not on building the upper body. The upper body's there, but building his leg strength, his base, right? And formulating a game plan to where if Fury comes forward, you're going to have less body weight to move around, to move away, and do those pivots that you were working on in camp. A better chance of being sharper, faster on your counter punching, right? Wilder was so heavy that by the 3rd round, his feet wouldn't move quick enough at that weight to get away from punches. Okay? So, people have to understand, Wilder's defense has never been top-notch. He's never had to have top-notch defense because he just knocks everybody out going up through the ranks. It wasn't until he he faced off against Ortiz and stuff like that where he got in trouble a few times. But his power saved him, essentially. His number one tool to escape danger was his feet. It's always been his feet to get out of the way. And at 212 to 220, he's able to do that much easier. Not at 240. 240, he doesn't move. Now I'm going to tell you guys something that I can speak from personal experience. Back when I was playing professional soccer, I was a goalkeeper. I made a career out of it, played like 8 years professional. At that time, all of my training was functional, right? Agility, speed, feet work, reflexes. You need a strong upper body because goalkeepers, they end up on the floor. You got to get off the floor. You got to push off the floor. You got to be explosive, right? But I maintained, I was like 165 pounds with zero fat. I was lean, wiry, quick. And I held that weight for a long time. When I stepped away from the sport and started coaching and getting into what I'm doing now, I didn't need to, I guess, I didn't say I didn't need to. I decided to, put on some muscle and start competing in fitness competitions, functional training competitions, calisthenic competitions, CrossFit competitions. You guys have probably seen some trophies I have up. It's actually my trophy room I turned into my studio. But I packed on muscle, right? I went from 165 to 175, 180. I was stronger, for sure. I can lift more, for sure. But I slowed down immensely. My agility that I used to be good at, I lost speed. My vertical jump, I lost vertical jump as well because you put on weight. And people have to understand, genetically speaking, everybody's different. I'm very similar to Wilder in the sense that I've always had very lean, kind of like skinny looking legs, but I've always been very fast, agile, and always had a very good vertical for my height and my size. Right? At 5, I'm like 5'10" and a half. I've been able to dunk a basketball on good days. By the time I was probably about 18 years old. So my point is this. My upper body has always grown very fast. It didn't take me long to get a good bench press. It didn't take me long to get back strength. And that's genetics. That's just the way your body grows and develops. It's very similar to Wilder, right? So I guess I'm tapping into a whole different perspective here that perhaps some people haven't thought about. When you are genetically genetically designed to have athletic, lean legs, your emphasis on the legs is basically 5 times more than what another person who's genetically gifted from the waist below. I've had friends that their legs explode out of the gym, but they can never grow a chest, they can never grow shoulders as fast as me. It just depends on the person. So you have to tap in and emphasize that type of training much more than other people. So 220, in my opinion, he should have came in at 220. Some people say 225. Nah, 220, a little bit below that, 218, 19, 20. That, to me, is the sweet spot for Wilder. So he can use his feet to get out of danger. He has the speed, which he lacked in this third fight as well. He had it for a couple of rounds, and it disappeared to where he's just throwing big looping shots and putting his whole body into it. And when you do that, you're just burning yourself out. The blood supply cannot feed the oxygen in those big muscles that he's put on. 25 pounds of muscle, people. 25 pounds of muscle Wilder put on an athletic, tall frame. It burned him out. And I am speaking on this in a sense that I have now studied all 3 fights intensely. This is why you guys haven't seen me live that much in the past 24, 36 hours. And I really forced myself to put my expertise of the strength and conditioning side of things into what has happened. So I want people to understand where I'm saying to. Okay? It's a mixture of a few things. He was too heavy, which means that he burned out quickly and he couldn't get away to protect himself. And as he got tired and his feet wouldn't move the way he's used to it moving many fights before that, he got so burned out that he couldn't even put his hands up to protect himself defensively either. And that's why he was getting hit with flush shots. Another reason why, he was too emotional. He let his emotions get the best of him. And if it wasn't for Malik Scott trying to calm him down and keep him refocused in between rounds, the fight wouldn't have went 11. I promise you that. It would have not gone 11. The only reason why it went 11 is because of Malik Scott and the heart of Deontay Wilder. That's the only reason why it went as far as it did. And on that note, just real quickly, Tania, what's good? Good to see you in the chat. Thank you for dropping by. El Jefe, what's good? Another thing that I see from the media Everybody talks about Wilder getting knocked down 3 times, Wilder knocking down Fury 2 times, but nobody talks, I noticed, about the flurry that Wilder did at the end of that 10th round after getting knocked down. The last 15 seconds of that round, he almost knocked Fury out again. And what's crazy about that is that he was doing on it with pure will and determination, and his tank was literally on empty, and he nearly knocked out Fury again. And nobody talks about that. So what does that tell you? That tells you if he's able to nearly knock out Fury, not only in the fourth round, but in the 10th round when he's completely spent at 240 pounds, what do you think would have happened going into a 10th round if he was 220 and had a lot more energy saved? People, if Wilder would have came in the correct weight with a better strength and conditioning program, we would be having a totally different conversation, and it would be the Fury fans hiding in the back crying. Not saying that Wilder fans are crying, but you get my point. There's nobody crying over here because we're all proud of Wilder. We are proud of him. He went out like a warrior. A lot of fighters in that situation, when they're in deep waters like that, they probably would have gave up. They would have gave up. Especially with Fury and his inside. A lot of times, dirty tactics, headlocks, punching behind the head, leaning, not breaking when the referee says to break. A lot of time, he would headlock Wilder and then uppercut him while he's holding his head down. All that shit. Most fighters would have gave up. So we're proud of Wilder, but we look at these small things and we talk about it out of love, right? Out of love and respect for Deontay Wilder. And sometimes it's tough love, you know what I mean? And I think that there was so much determination and emphasis on coming in as big and muscular as I can so I can out-muscle Fury. But you can't. Somebody said it the other day. I forget who I was listening to. He said, but you can't out-Fury the Fury, meaning coming in and trying to out-muscle and outweigh or try to get as close to it as you can to Fury, it doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. At first, I thought, okay, 240, a lot of muscle, shit. He's planning to get Fury out of there early. Because there's no way with that type of muscle mass, this shit's going 12. It ain't going 10. It's not going 8 or 9. My official prediction was actually 8, though, because I thought that Fury would get hurt several times and then, he would eventually finish him off. But not at 240. Like, I knew it. I think deep down I knew it. I ignored it because, I had emotions invested in this fight too. But that's what I think. I have to retract my statement when I say that the weight didn't matter. It did. It did. And I say that with a humble heart because, like I said, I've had to humble myself and do some serious investigation and go back and watch the previous fights and go back and watch Wilder against Bermane Sterving and Ortiz and Dominic Brazil and all these guys that he was wiping out clearly. Now, none of these guys are Fury, don't get me wrong. Fury was always going to be a tough fight. Fury was always going to be a tough fight. But coming in at that weight, bringing emotion into the fight, going and reverting back to your old self is the whole reason why we're in this situation. And mark my words, Deontay will be back. And he'll be back at 220. And he's going to go back to knocking dudes out again. And a lot of people will have no choice but to say, yeah, he came in the third fight with emotion, too heavy, gassed himself out, went away from his game plan. And when you look at all those things I just mentioned, equals no defense, the inability to protect yourself, which makes the fight look uglier than what it really is. There's a big difference, and this is what I want to put a punctuation mark on. And a lot of Fury fans are going to get upset. They're going to click the dislike button. They're going to be punching air right now. But I'm going to say this, and I don't give a fuck. There's a big difference between being outclassed and beating yourself. Wilder beat himself by, like I said, being too emotional, getting away from the game plan, and coming in too heavy. Period. Fury would always be a tough fight for anybody, but Wilder especially, because Wilder is a 215, 220 heavyweight, and Fury is 270 plus. It's always going to be a tough fight. And Fury is experienced, and he's very difficult to deal with on the inside for any heavyweight. Period. But what is ironic to me is we have 3 fights. Wilder knocked down Fury 4 times in 3 fights. Right? 4 times in 3 fights. 2 of those 4 damn near knocked out. Damn near knocked out. And you Fury fans, y'all shrug your shoulders and you out there toot your horn and beat your drum and be like, Fury's a warrior because he got up. That doesn't change the fact that you're out there telling everybody how much more skilled Fury is than Wilder. Wilder ain't got no skill. He's a bum. But a skilled fighter doesn't let a bum put his ass on the fucking canvas. A skilled fighter, a fighter that's so much better, and Wilder's such a bum, would have never ended up on his backside. Not once, not twice, 4 times. Sure. Give the man the credit. He won. Fine. Malik Scott came out, gave him his credit. Wilder's team came out, gave him his credit. Most of us out here gave him his credit. Fine. I don't have a problem with that. Yeah, he won. But let's not sit here and pretend like Fury just completely demolished Wilder. It looks like that on the surface because he's the victor. Knocked down 4 times in 3 fights. Now, I went back and watched the first fight, the knockdown. I rewound it 10. You guys don't even know how many times. Rewind that whole knockdown. The knockdown itself is so beautiful. How it's not the knockdown of, like, not just that year, but probably the whole decade. That knockout was so tremendous. 12th round in a heavyweight bout. Hit with the right hand, follow with the left hook. You can't write it up any better. That takes skill to land. But I have went back and watched it many times. And Fury got up at 9. Okay? He got up at 9. It's very close, but he did get up at 9. That is my opinion. I know a lot of people feel like it was a long count. Like I said, I've seen it 1,000 times. He got up at 9. It's a miracle. It's a miracle. Now, the knockdown in the 4th round of the 3rd fight. Now that shit, that's close. That's close. That's a 9.5, 10 right there. That's real close. And they made it difficult for viewers to do it objectively because they panned the camera away from Fury around the count of like 7. Right? But the biggest atrocity of that 4th round knockdown in the 3rd fight wasn't necessarily, was it 9, 9.5, 10, That's not my biggest issue. My biggest issue is that Mora had it at 7. Okay? And even if you have it at 9 and you give Fury the benefit of the doubt, Mora is still 2 seconds behind. 2 seconds and a knockdown of a Trilogy heavyweight fight is like light years. Like it's a whole day basically. Okay, so that's my biggest issue. If people want to say, I don't know, Divine, man, I think he got up at 9, fine. But if you don't take objection to Mora at being at 7, when you just said yourself that he's at 9, that's already an issue in itself, which should be investigated. Now, the biggest difference is we can't flip it to Wilder, because when Wilder got knocked down, he tried to get up right away. Wilder's different. You can argue that Wilder should have stayed on the canvas for a couple seconds longer to try and recover a little bit. But here's the thing, people. Here's the question for you, and y'all can answer it yourself. Fury was knocked down in the first fight, yeah? I said he got up at 9. It's real close, but I'll give him 9. But he learned from the first fight that he doesn't have to get up quickly. Fury learned that. He learned that he didn't have to get up quickly. He can take his time, watch the referee, and when the referee gets to about 7, he rolls over and gets up at around 9, right? He plays it really, really close, which is really, it should be very dangerous for a fighter to do that. He plays it right to the very last split second. And he learned that he can get away with that in the first fight. Now, going into the 3rd fight, he did the same exact thing, except the referee was 2 seconds behind. Now, it's not necessarily Fury's fault. It's not. Fury's looking at the ref. The ref failed. It was a referee failure. And it makes it easier for the referee to make the decision on the fly, because if he's got his count messed up and he's at 7 and Fury's on his way up, he's not going to call the fight when Fury's on his way standing up and he's at 6, 7, 8, whatever the case may be. Right? So that's what people have to understand. It's a referee failure. It's not Fury's fault. Fury's looking at the ref. But it doesn't change the fact that the count was inaccurate. There is a timekeeper ringside for that very reason. I commented that on Drew Titan's Live the other day. I don't know if you guys caught it. Drew highlighted my comment for a while. And I told people, I said in that comment for the viewers that were watching Drew at that time, is there's a timekeeper. Some people call them scorekeepers, whatever, but essentially timekeeper ringside, right? They're there for a reason. Their main reason is because this has been in the sport of boxing since who knows when, right? But the main reason why they're there is there's a common understanding that the referee has to conduct traffic in the ring. He can't count and conduct traffic at the same time. And a lot of people were saying, oh, yeah, but Wilder didn't go to his neutral corner. That doesn't matter. That does not matter. The timekeeper is keeping the count. Okay, yes, the referee has to wave it off. But guess what? If the referee is standing there like trying to physically move Wilder into a neutral corner because Wilder's out of it, a lot of people were saying, oh, Wilder was out of it. He didn't know where the corner was. I heard some people saying that. If the referee has to physically move him to go to the neutral corner, and that takes him 5 seconds, that doesn't change the fact that the fighter's still on the canvas. And the referee has to look at the timekeeper, and if the timekeeper's at 10, the referee picks up that count and says, 10, you're out. That's why you have a timekeeper. The referee, and this is in the rule book, people. This is not Divine Sense just pulling shit out of his ass. This is in the rule book. The referee's job during a knockdown, when the glove hits the canvas or the knee, any other part of the body hits the knee, the count starts by the timekeeper. That's why the timekeeper jumps up, right? Because the first thing the referee has to do is call the knockdown, turn to the other fighter, and direct the fighter into the neutral corner. Then the referee turns, checks the time with the timekeeper, and picks up that count. People, let's not pretend, okay? Let's not pretend and act as if these rules don't exist. Y'all know better than this, man. And I'm talking to the detractors. I'm talking to the Wilder haters. Look, man. This type of stuff happens in the sport of boxing. It happens. It's not the first time a fighter got a little extra second or two. It's not the first time. It's happened many times. I'm not saying that it's the first time. I'm saying that if you're going to be unbiased and you're going to be objective, even if you're a Fury fan, you should at least have the audacity and the respect and courage to come out and say, Mora fucked up the count. Yes, Fury got the victory. Yes, it happens in boxing, but the proof is in the pudding. To sit here and pretend like, nah, Fury got up at 7. Then you need to go back and study your arithmetic skills because you got a problem with counting. And this whole, like, let's take a timer, I don't give a shit about none of that. I don't need to put a timer on my phone, and that's not how it works. All these channels out here are time. That's not how it works. It's not seconds. It's count. 1, 2, 3. Go back to your corner, timekeeper. 6, 7. That's how it works. So it's not about who's this guy, Andy? Andy, get your bitch ass out of here. See, this is why I get people. Why do people think that I'm Fury won the fight? I just got done saying this shit happens in boxing. See, you guys want to twist it because you want Wilder to lose so badly. That's why you can't stand Wilder. Just come out and say it. Just say it. You don't like him. You don't give a fuck how Fury wins as long as he wins. Y'all done pissed me off now, man. Get that bitch out of here. You try to come out here and be objective. I'm pointing out a fact. It's not about crying. See, that's the problem. People like to twist this shit. People want tribalism. They want teams. You either team Fury over here, and I don't give a fuck how Fury wins as long as he wins. You with us or you against us. That's it. I don't play that team tribalism shit. Fury, what do you want us to do? Fury 1, what else do you want us to do? Oh, we'll stop crying. Oh, no, I know what you want me to do. I know what you people want me to do. You want me to come on here and say, oh, I was so wrong about Wilder. Oh, my God, he's not as good as I thought he was. Fury's so good. He's so great. Oh, please forgive me. That's what you want me to do. You want me to submit. You want me to concede to your fucking ideology. But you motherfuckers are beneath me because you don't know about the sport of boxing. Your man Fury got knocked down 4 times in 3 fights. Your man Fury is not invisible. And if I come out here and say that Wilder, if he came in at 220 and he had the right game plan, I already said Wilder came in too emotional. I already said that Wilder came in too heavy. These are not excuses. These are facts. And if Fury got knocked the fuck out, you motherfuckers would be doing the same shit. Y'all would have pulled excuses out of your ass. Let's not pretend that you wouldn't. If Wilder would have knocked out Fury in the 4th round of the 3rd fight, if the referee would have counted it a little bit differently, and if Fury was standing upright at the count of 10, and the referee decided to call it because referees do that shit all the time. If that would have happened, you people would have came on here and said, oh, Fury lost because he got COVID. Fury lost because he didn't have enough time to train. Fury lost because he had problems with his family. His daughter was sick. That's what you guys would have said. But because Fury won, y'all want to flip it. Y'all want to flip it and act like Wilder ain't shit. Wilder knocked down your man 4 times in 3 fights. 2 of those times, he barely made it to the count of fucking 10. He barely survived. How is Wilder a bum? Oh, he's a man with power. So basically what you're saying is, Fury let a man who just has power, he has no skill, knock him on his ass 4 times. That's what you're telling me. What would you guys think about Mayweather? What would you guys say if Mayweather got knocked down like Fury got knocked down in the 4th round of the 3rd fight against Maidana? What would you guys say? You guys would have crucified Mayweather. If Mayweather got knocked down, let me say that again. If Mayweather would have got knocked down the way Fury got knocked down in the 4th round of the 3rd fight and barely made it up at the count of 10, you guys would have crucified Mayweather. That's number 1. Number 2, y'all would have had a different belief about Maidana though, right? Fury's so skilled. He should never get knocked down by Wilder. He should have never got knocked down. Not once, not twice, not 3 times, 4 times. But he's so skilled. And I don't want to hear none of this shit about, oh, bro, it's a heavyweight match, man, and Wilder's got power. We all know he's got power. You said Fury is too skilled. He's a much more skillful fighter than Wilder. That shit should have never happened. Ever. We saw what Maidana did to Broner, right? We saw what Maidana had done to other fighters, right? There was no dispute on whether Maidana can punch or not. We knew he can punch. But Mayweather was so skilled, it didn't matter, did it? He couldn't drop Mayweather. Even though Maidana was using his head, using his elbows, headlocking Mayweather, roughing him up, just like Fury actually was doing to Wilder. That's kind of the irony of it. But Mayweather never got knocked down. Why? Because he's too skilled. See, here's the thing. I came on here. If you guys joined the live stream early, I came on here. I was calm, cool, collected, and I was talking about boxing, and I was pointing some things out. And then you just got to have one dumbass who, by the way, has to subscribe to the channel and wait to comment. Listen, people, there's a lot of content creators out here, some of which I have just recently discovered, and some of which I've known for years. Because I'm not new to this YouTube shit. Years. In capital letters. And they say a lot of things that I don't agree with. They say a lot of things that I dispute. They say a lot of things that, quite frankly, it makes me want to pull my hair out. But you don't see me commenting over there. You don't see me going over there in the comment section in their live chat saying dumb shit. They say what they say. It is what it is. I come on my platform and I say what I want to say. That's it. And if it gets to the point where, I can't stand it, to the point where I feel like I want to address some points, I go on their show. I just go on the show and speak what I want to say. But you see, that's the thing, man. That's the difference between me and a lot of these dudes out here. You think they're ever going to come on Divine Sense Boxing? You think that ever happened? Because when I get like this, when I get irate and I get heated, people get quiet. People get quiet. And the thing is people can't accept, man. They can't accept when we bring things to the table. They can't stand it. And this is why I know. That people are Wilder haters. It's not, oh, I'm a Fury fan, I'm a boxing fan. No, you a Wilder hater, bro. Yeah, you a Wilder hater, bro. Yeah, just say it, bro. It's all good. Just say it. It's fine. I can take it. I'm a big boy. I can take it. I don't like Wilder. I don't like his ass. I don't think he's good for the sport, whatever the case is. And if you a racist bitch-ass motherfucker, then just come out and say, I don't like black people, man. I don't want black people to be on top of the sport. Just say it. I still think you're going to be a punk ass, but at least I'll respect you just a little bit because you have the courage to say it. Don't come in here talking about, oh, you're crying. You're crying because you a hater. That's why. That's why you in my comment section, because you a hater. And I don't like Fury. I can't stand the dude, man. I think he's a clown. I think he's bad for the sport of boxing. I think he's suspect. I think he lies about a lot of shit. I don't think he's a people's champ. I don't think he conducts himself how a champion should conduct himself, like those who came before him, like Muhammad Ali. That's my opinion. But I have the respect of the sport of boxing to give a man's credit when the credit is due. The guy won the third fight. The guy won the second fight. It is what it is. There may be some things in there that strike me as odd, that I don't agree with, that I find suspect, but it doesn't change the result, does it? When the history books are written, Fury won 2 out of 3. That's it. That's it. And look, man. I want to talk about the referee just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. I did expect a little bit worse, to be honest with you. Was he bad? Did Mora do an atrocious job? No. He did an okay job. His biggest struggle, which I knew was going to be a problem, and I pointed it out before the fight. Guru Grind said was good. Kano Local Sports was good. ECTZ. Get this bitch out of here, ECTC. Punk ass bitch. Get him out. Saying dumb shit. Go check BoxRec, motherfucker. Man, I don't like being this way, man. Get this guy out of here, man. Get him out. Look, I'm going to talk a little bit about the referee. Wrenches. We don't got time. We don't got time tonight. I don't have the patience. We don't have the time. Okay? These people are, they're literally subscribing and waiting to comment. Look, how pathetic is that? How pathetic is it? This is how pathetic people are, man. But remember what I told you guys before. These people saying this dumb shit, they don't talk like this in real life. They don't talk like this in real life. Now, back to the referee. I thought he did an okay job. But the biggest worry that I had leading into it, and it was apparent during the fight, is that Mora can't handle heavyweights, man. He struggled to break them up, in firm fashion. He's too small. Like, stature-wise, he's too small. They needed a big, strong, enforcing referee because there were a lot of headlocks, a headlock with uppercuts and dirty-ass shit going on. Way too much time for Fury to lean on Wilder and things like that. And that's just because you don't have an enforcer to deal with it. And I knew that was going to be a problem, and it was a problem. Okay? Now, he did okay. I think he did try. I think he went in there thinking, all right, I gotta kind of redeem myself in some respect. And I think he did try. Okay, but he made a major error in that fight. He miscounted the second knockdown in the fourth round. I don't care if you agree with it. I don't care if you don't like to hear it. I don't care if you are dying to comment because you can't because you're not subscribed. And all you can do is hit the dislike button. I don't care if you're a content creator out there listening right now and you can't stand the fact of what I'm saying, but you don't got the balls to come here on my channel and say what you want to say. It ain't that hard. My Instagram is right there at the bottom of the screen. My email is widely available. I don't care. He made a major error. That doesn't change the result of the fight. Yes, it has happened in boxing many times. But I want to go back to another point because I got sidetracked by this dumbass dude that came in here. GG Banks. That's what they do, man. I was calm. I'm always calm. I'm always very, very calm. But I have my trigger points. Man. But look. Oh, yeah. And let me highlight this. Not only did Mora make an error, right? And again, I'm not saying that Fury got knocked out. People won't give me the benefit of the doubt of saying that. You know, they only want to hear what they want to hear. I'm not saying Fury got knocked out. I'm saying that Mora made a mistake, a big error. He was at 7 when at minimum, let me say that again, at minimum the count was at 9. And if the count is at 9 and Fury's just starting to stand upright, 9 goes to what? Remember when you're in first grade? 8, 9, 10. Yay! 9 goes to 10, dumbasses. And if he's not standing upright at the count of 9 going to 10, a referee can call that shit. right? So that's what we're pointing out. And not to mention what Guru Grind just said right here, the change was last minute. It wasn't like, oh, we knew 2 weeks in advance, 3 weeks in advance that it's going to be Mora. Literally 3 days before. 3 days before. Y'all can think what you want to think about that. Big Dog Willie, man, thanks for dropping by. I appreciate you, bro. So, here's a question for everybody and all the haters in the background. There's a lot of them. And by the way, I want to say this too. I keep getting sidetracked because things keep popping in my head, but I do want to say this too. I notice certain channels, right, who've been speaking about this. I'm not going to say names. We know who they are. There are certain channels I've never seen so many dislikes since this fight is finished. It's insane. It reminds me of Mayweather-Pacquiao when Mayweather won, and people came on and were giving Mayweather his credit. All the Pacquiao fans were coming and just disliking like crazy. You would make a video, it would get 100 likes and 100 dislikes, and I'm starting to see that trend again on certain channels who have came out and said, yeah, Fury won. It is what it is. He was the better man of the night. They're trying to be humble and respectful, but we still love Wilder. Wilder's still he's a warrior. He's still our man, bomb squad, whatever. And you see it. 100 likes, 100 dislikes. I mean, it's insane. This is how these people are, man. They're insane. We can't even give our old man credit. We can't even give the fighter who we've been supporting credit. Like y'all take it to that extent. We came out here and say, yeah, Fury won. Like, what more do you want? See, that's when you know that they hate Wilder. And they hate anybody who supports Wilder. That's when you know. When you give Fury credit and they still hate you, it's because you're not willing to submit to them. You're not willing to concede. You're not willing to get down on your knees and beg for forgiveness. Yeah. It came to the wrong place. I don't submit to nobody. Deanna Branch in that super chat says, no beta males allowed. Get the F out of here. Hashtag on lock. I got you, Divine. I appreciate you, Deanna Branch. She's the captain in here, man. She's the captain. Get this punk ass Christopher out of here too. I've been waiting to get you out, Christopher, you bitch. That's probably not even your real name. Get him out of here too. I've been waiting. I've been giving you a lot of chances, Christopher. A lot of chances. Yeah, and I see you. Leading up to the fight, you trying to be cool and be like, yo, I hope it's a good fight and, may the best man win. I remember, see, that's why I'm called Divine Sense Boxing. I know this shit, and I remember your bitch ass, and I've been waiting. And ever since Fury won the fight, you've been over here talking shit because you a bitch. Out. No time. These people, at this point, they don't deserve timeouts. They don't deserve timeouts. Ousted. Banished. I pay attention. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many subscribers I have or end up having as I continue to do what I do. And this is the last time, by the way, I'm talking about this trilogy. Until Wilder comes out and announces that he's going to fight again, I'm not going to talk about Wilder anymore. I'm saying everything that I want to say right here, right now, and I'm done. That's why it says in the title, final thoughts. I'm done. Because I can't take it, man. If I keep talking about this, I'll probably leave YouTube again. I swear to God, I'll leave. I'll leave for good. I can't take these people, man. So this is it. This is why I'm saying what I'm saying. and then I'm out. You know what I mean? And it doesn't matter, though. I want to say this. It doesn't matter how many subscribers I have now and what I'll have in the future as I continue along. I remember my subscribers very well. I have a very good memory, a very good photographic memory, and I know and always remember people who show love and respect. So if you try to sneak up in here, I don't care if I have 100,000 subscribers, man. I swear to you. If you try to sneak up in here on some shady, dumbass shit, you're not going to survive long here. There's no point. There's no point of even wasting your time. Chazamain, what's good, man? And to be honest with you guys, like I said, I really don't get it. I really don't get it. I mean, I take that back. I do get it. Let me put it this way. I get it, but it's just sad, man. It's just sad. And my thoughts and feelings are authentic. I live streamed the entire fight. A lot of you guys that are in the chat right now were a part of that live stream. And when Wilder got stopped in the 11th round, was I disappointed? Of course I was disappointed. And I see you guys too sending me messages on Instagram, emailing me, writing comments on the video saying, oh, it was so satisfying to see you so deflated, seeing you so sad when Wilder lost. That shit's funny. Because you know the first thing that comes into my head is you guys say that, but I know you were sweating. You were sweating like 8 Mile when Fury got knocked down in the 4th round. Not once, but twice. You know you were sweating. Sweating heavy. Palms are sweaty. Yeah. That's why I find it funny. But you see, the difference is that you're not a Fury fan. That's why. You're not a Fury fan. You just want Wilder to lose. You see? And so, of course, because I'm actually a Wilder fan, and when Wilder loses the way that he loses, why would I want to see the man that I support lay face down on the canvas? Why would I like to see that? You like to see it because you hate the man. But if Fury would have got knocked out, you guys would have disappeared. You guys would have literally disappeared because you were never Fury fans to begin with. You were Wilder haters. Moped, what's good, man? I'm glad you're able to make it tonight. You missed the fire, though. Moped, man. You missed the fire already. I'm trying to calm down. So, the question I want to ask is this. Let's put it this way. If Wilder got knocked down, well, he did get knocked down. Let's say it this way. If Wilder didn't get up as fast as he did, because Wilder essentially, in 2 of the 3 knockdowns, he got up very quick. He went down, he got up. Right? If Wilder would have laid on the canvas like Fury did in both the first fight, 12th round, third fight, 4th round, laid on the canvas and got up around 7, 8, and the referee went 7, 8, 9, and Wilder's on his way to stand up like Fury did in the 4th round, would the referee call it off? That's a question. It's a question. Don't get mad at a question. It's a question. I probably won't get an answer. Not a true, honest answer. So, let me know in the comment section. And again, don't be fooled. Don't be fooled by the referee being at 7, because that's irrelevant. The count starts with the the timekeeper. The timekeeper. Yes, the referee has the authority to call it off. That is true. The referee has the authority to call it a knockdown or a no knockdown because it was a slip or whatever. Okay? The referee has command of the ring. The referee also has to control traffic in the ring. That's why you have a timekeeper. All right? So let's keep it real here. Let's keep it authentic here. All right? The question is if Wilder got dropped and he got up at the count of 8 and it was like 8, 9, would the referee call it off? That's my question. I'm going to highlight this, man. Shout out to Clarissa, man, for real, for her posting supporting Wilder. I have so much respect for that woman, man. You have no idea. A man who also, I have a daughter who's just starting to get into boxing, and she's an inspiration not only to me, but hopefully my daughter in the future. I got a lot of respect for her, man. A lot. And it takes courage to come out and say what she said. At the end of the day, like, I guess all this bickering and we get upset and we get emotional sometimes, it doesn't really matter, right? Because however the result fell, the end result and how it all came to fruition, Wilder's a warrior, man. And anybody who doesn't give him at least that respect, if you think Fury's better, man, that's opinion. But if you can at least give Wilder that much respect and concede the simple fact that Wilder knocked down Fury 4 times in 3 fights, and he's supposed to be a bum. He's not even on Fury's level. So let me reiterate the fact once again now that I'm calm. If Fury's so great, why is he getting knocked down 4 times? And I don't want to hear, it's heavyweights. Fury has never been knocked down like that in his entire career. To the point where not just knocked down, but nearly knocked out. If Fury's so skilled and Wilder's just a one-trick pony, he would never get hit with those type of shots. And the third fight, though, he got sloppy. He got reckless. And that's why he got dropped. Got Boxing Redemption here in the Super Chat. He says, Divine, emotional attachment to any fighter is a problem. If people disagree or troll, who cares, man? Do your thing. Don't let people get to you. Maybe I'm different. I just love boxing in general. Well, I hear you. I do. Typically, moderators and the wrenches, they handle their business. I guess I've just reached my limit, man. I've reached my limit with this. And the fact that people have to subscribe and wait because I put a limit, I put a time frame in which you have to wait to comment, and people do that just out of spite, just to try to piss me off. And it's not just me. It's like you said, you're a fan of boxing, right? Boxing Redemption, you love boxing. So I would assume that even though you feel like Fury won the fight and he's a better man, I would assume you probably think that because I remember your comments throughout the months. But I would assume that you at least give Wilder his credit of being a warrior. And showing heart. That's something that you can't teach. You either have it or you don't. And the fact that people come in here and pretend that Wilder is just some ragdoll who got beat around the ring, who was a heavyweight champion himself. I find that disrespectful. And if I'm not going to stand up for Wilder, nobody else will. and I will stand up for a man who has earned his way to fight a man like Fury, not once but 3 times, and knocked his ass down 4 times, nearly knocked him out twice. Yeah, I'm going to stand up for a man who basically dedicated almost everything. He was willing to die in that ring. And for people who sit on the internet, sit on their ass and not do shit other than bitch, moan, and complain, troll, and be racist, yes, I'm going to take issue with that, and I'm going to stand up for fighters, not just Deontay Wilder, but any fighter like Deontay Wilder, even if they take a loss. I appreciate the super chat, bro. So that means the timekeeper can be on Fury's side as well. No, the timekeeper was on point. Go back and watch it. The timekeeper was at 9, I believe, when Fury started standing up. No, it was a referee mistake. It was a referee fail. Period. And if Fury fans are not willing to address that, then I'm sorry. I don't put you in the category as a Fury fan anymore. You're a Wilder hater. That's just the way I feel about it. And once again, I'm not saying that Fury got knocked out. I can't prove it. I'm not the ref in the ring. I'm not sitting next to the timekeeper. The camera is panned away from Fury when he's getting up. But all I can do is count it. Not a timer. I don't use a timer. Okay? Count it. And it's, you know what, man? I'll do, since we're on the topic, Mario Holland, man, what's good? Official member of the channel, bro. I appreciate you. I've been waiting for you to drop by tonight. Thank you for making time tonight. But you know what I'm going to do? Wilder's a warrior 100%. Thank you. Thank you. What you want me to do, man? Let's do this. We'll do it one more time. I did it live after the fight. After the fight, we talked about the slow knockdown. So what do we got here? Deontay Wilder's round 4 knockdowns in slow motion. I don't want slow motion. I want real time so we can count it. And I see a lot of videos up here about slow counts. It's pretty crazy. Let's go off this one. Let's do it. Let's do it. And I'm going to show you guys how I count it. All right? In real time. Now, this is some dude like fan reaction, whatever. And the reason why I chose this one is because I don't want any like tainted people putting in timers and all this different stuff. So I know it's not a very good view, but it's the best one I can find right now on the fly. All right, here we go. I'm going to show you guys how I count it. All right, we're ready. I'm just reading the comments, man. Be humble, people. I'm telling you, be humble. All right, here we go. This is the first knockdowns coming up. I know he gets up. He definitely gets up the first knockdown for sure. But part of the reason why he got knocked down in the second knockdown, was because he was still hurt from the first knockdown. He didn't quite have his legs yet. I mean, he took a hellacious shot right on top of the cranium. That's why he's backing up right now. He's backing up. He took a big shot right there, too. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One more time. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Y'all be the judge. Y'all be the judge. And let me say it again. Let me say it again. It doesn't matter, okay, if the ref has to direct if the ref has to direct the other fighter, in this instance Wilder, to the neutral corner, the count doesn't stop. You don't pause the count because the referee is directing traffic. That's why you have a timekeeper, to keep the count going. The fighter who just got knocked down doesn't get free seconds or a free count just because the referee's directing traffic. That's not how it works. The referee must pick up the count from the timekeeper once he sorts out the other fighter. Okay? So, for me, it's he gets up at like it's 9. Literally the thing is that it's 9 for sure. It's 9 for sure. Okay? But here's the thing. This is actually the real question. Is that, number one, it's at 9 for sure. In my mind, you cannot dispute that it's 9. You just can't. You absolutely cannot. If you want to dispute, I know some people said it's 12, 13, shit like that. If people want to dispute that, fine. But you cannot dispute 9. So here's the problem. Number one, it's 9. The ref's at 7. That makes the fighter feel like he has more time to get up. That is a fail on the referee. Okay? The other problem with it is that if you're at 9 and you're getting ready to go to 10, the referee has to make a decision on the fly, like Jack Reese did in the first fight. In the first fight, in the 12th round, Fury got up at the count of 9, and he decided to withhold the count of 10 and give Fury a chance. In this instance, once again, that's not the situation because he was at 7. So he wasn't put in a position to be at 9 and make the decision to go 9, 10, you're out. Or 9, okay, you're still there. Give me your gloves. There was never that opportunity because he was at 7. That is a fail. Period. Nap Artist says, have you watched Deontay Boxing Nation? I heard him talk about it, but I haven't seen him do a breakdown of it. Aki and Ego. Yeah, I know they've made videos about it. I haven't watched it. For me, look, this is what people have to understand. A count is subjective. It is. Referees count differently. They count a little bit slower. Some referees are like 1, 2, 3, like that, right? Slow. Some referees are 1, 2, 3, 4. It's very subjective. But my issue is the fact that it doesn't matter how fast the referee counts because the timekeeper is what is what starts the pace of the count. Now, when the referee picks up from that count, then the referee can use their discretion on how they count. So, for example, if the timekeeper's going 1, 2, 3, and then the referee comes in to pick up the count and he decides to go slower or faster, that is the referee's discretion based on how they count out a fighter. But this is not what happened here. The timekeeper is at 7 when he's at 5, or the timekeeper's at 9 when he's at 7. That is a fail. All right, let's check out the link. I'll check it out. People are posted in here. All right, let's see what we got. Not able to open it for some reason. Not able to open it. Maybe if I copy and paste, it'll work. I'm not sure. Let me try it. If I can't get it, then I will just go to the channel and find it. All right, looks like I got it. So you know you're overseas when you get dumbass ads like this. All right. So this is Deontay. Speaking of Deontay, I actually hit him up, man. He hasn't replied to me. I think him and I are in the same country. I think we're in the same country right now. So if anybody has, before I play this video, if anybody has his contact information other than his like Instagram, which I don't think he ever replies, let me know. You don't have to put it here in the chat. Send me a message on Instagram if you guys have Deontay's contact info, because, like I said, I think we're in the same country right now. So, all right, let's see what he's going on here. All right. Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people were tweeting and posting on IG about it being a slow count. All right, let's go here, I guess. Let's go here. Let's start here. Okay, I haven't watched this yet, people. I have not watched this video yet by Deontay's Boxing Nation. Let's see. I didn't plan on getting into the count tonight, but seems like a controversial topic.
The exact same thing happened in the first fight when Deontay Wilder knocked down Tyson Fury.
What's important here, I'll pause it real quick. What's important here is this lady right here standing up. That's the timekeeper. That's where the camera should be at. Whatever count she's at, that's what's important. She holds the pace of the count while the referee directs traffic in the ring. Okay? The timer itself, like I said, the timer itself is subjective. I mean, it's a timekeeper doesn't have a stopwatch. So when a fighter goes down, the timekeeper doesn't go, okay, start, and hits a timer. That's not the way it works, right? That's why they use their hands. Okay? So I want to put that out there. I want to, at the end of the day, man, I talk boxing, okay? And I want to clear any misconceptions or misunderstandings. So the timer is okay for a reference to see, where it's at, but that's not how it is counted in real time. What you need to know is looking at the timekeeper. I'll continue playing this, but if the camera was to stay at the timekeeper and the timekeeper's at 9 and Fury hasn't stood up yet, Fury is technically, he is knocked out. Okay, so it's depending on the timekeeper because the referee picks up the time as I mentioned, from the timekeeper once he directs traffic and he picks up the count. Okay? So I'll go ahead and continue playing this. But again, for me, the timer at the bottom of this video is a reference. It's not real time.
And it was only seconds before the fight was over. So that right there was the clip of the first fight. Now I'm going to play you guys a clip.
So he has it at 10 right here, and he's still on his knee. Okay? But again, this is a timer. This is not how it's counted in a real fight. That may come to as a surprise to some people, but you guys know, man, I always keep it raw and authentic here. I'm not going to bullshit you, okay? And I'm not going to play into narratives. I'm going to tell you guys the truth, all right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wind it back just a little bit again. I'm going to count it out because it seems like Deontay does have a pretty good view of the knockdown. Whereas the other video I just played, it's like the TV, it's kind of far. It's difficult to see, especially for the viewers right now. So I'm going to wind it back, and I'm basically going to point out the differences between the timer count and a real-time human count. All right? Let's see what we get.
Saturday. Andre Ward, he actually pointed this out during the fight when Tyson Fury got knocked down. He said that was a really, really slow count. Well, it turned out it was a lot slower than a lot of us thought.
All right, here it comes.
And coincidentally,
I'm gonna mute Deontay here, or Dante. Sorry, I keep saying Deontay. Dante. All right, and I'm gonna count it myself. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now from that perspective, now I don't know if I would hope, okay? I want to say this. I would hope that Dante wouldn't slow down the video. Okay? I would hope he wouldn't do that. I'm not going to assume that he did. But from what I just did right there, I'm probably a half a second based off of my count. I'm a half second behind. So with Fury on his knee right here, I have it at about 9.5, not 10. I'm about a half second behind, which means by the time he actually stood up, it's probably 10 anyways. I'm going to do it one more time. And try not to look at the timer, okay? Try to go off of my count as I count it right here live. All right? Here we go. Because when I count, I'm not looking at the timer that Dante has put at the bottom here. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm about a second behind, but it doesn't really matter for two reasons. Number one, even I'm a second behind, Fury's still on his knee anyways. You have to be standing straight up, not on your way up. You have to be standing straight up for the referee not to count you out, okay? So he's on his knee. Even if he's at 9, Dante has it at 10 on his knee. I have it 9 on his knee, and he's going to need time to get up and stand upright to beat the count of 10. So 95% of the time, if a fighter is still on their knee at the count of 9, usually over. Not always. Sometimes referees are at 9, they're on their knee, and they're on their way up. They're like 8, 9. Okay, are you good? They don't go to that 10. They give the fighter the benefit of the doubt. Okay? But again, he's clearly, Dante has him at 10 on his knee. I have him at 9 on his knee. The referee was at 7 when he stood up. Dana says that was the first fight. Is it? Is it? Yeah, you're right. It is the first fight. You're right. It is the first fight. Shit, I was sitting here thinking we're talking about the third fight. Wow. Now, thank you for pointing that out, Deanna. Thank you. Now, here's the thing. All right, so he goes on and talks about the rest. Okay. I got you. I apologize. I thought it was he goes straight into the third fight. I didn't even catch. Now I see it. Yeah, because I see the trunks. Deontay wore red in the third fight. He's wearing black here. All right. So that's actually quite interesting because I just got done watching this first fight earlier today, and I had it at 9. I felt that Wilder got up at 9. He was standing straight up at 9. Dante's pointed out something a little bit different here in the first fight. But again, it's subjective, camera angles, and whatever. Jack Reese does sometimes have a tendency to give fighters the benefit of the doubt. I know I've had this conversation with Stormy and a few others. They feel like Jack Reese has blown other calls. I haven't seen all of Jack Reese's fights that he's reffed, but the ones that I have seen, fighters get knocked down. He tends to give fighters a little bit of extra time, either to recover or if it's an 8, 9, 10, he's been known to do it. But let's keep it moving into this video now that I know this was actually the first fight, not the third fight. All right, so it looks like he gets into the third fight here. Let's see.
Okay, so I want you to notice, do you see the elbow is down on the canvas at the 17-second mark? And let me go a little before then. And you can see the glove right here. And he reaches down to break his fall, hitting the canvas. You see the 17-second mark. Reaches down. So he is down. That's the point, he's down right there, 17.
I don't know who this guy is. College of Scripting. This guy's got like a Spanish guitar in the background. It's kind of fitting.
And we have absolutely confirmed that with this frame right here. That's Tyson Fury's elbow on the canvas, as you can see. So we go frame by frame. All right, so we'll hit the play button.
He's hurt, fellas. Wow! Over there!
Now, something I wanted to add, since the narrator didn't point it out, when the referee told Deontay Wilder to go over there, he broke his count. So he stopped counting. And then when he came back, he continued from the last number that he counted. But I'm going to elaborate on that point once this video is finished.
Now, if you do the math, and you're starting at 7.
And to Dante's point, the count doesn't stop, even if the referee's distracted or has to direct traffic in the ring, whatever the case may be. The count doesn't stop. There's no pause. You don't pause when a dude is knocked down. They don't get gifted free counts. Okay, that's not how boxing works.
17 seconds, and you take 10 seconds away, you will have arrived at the 7-second mark. Now, once you get to the 6-second mark, that means 11 seconds has passed. Here's the first frame we see it. Does Tyson Fury look like he's up? Look at the clock.
And even if he's on his way up, it's still not up.
That means 11 seconds has gone by. And Tyson Fury is still down. Now check this out.
Fury back up.
That is kind of crazy, where he goes down at like 17 seconds, but then there's only like 3 seconds left in the fight. It's kind of weird.
Final seconds.
I never really thought about it in that way.
The ref is only at a count of 8. Now the ref is only at a count of 8. Now look at the clock. It says 2 seconds.
2 seconds, not 3.
I've already proven to you that Fury was 10 seconds. So if at the 2-second mark, that means 15 seconds has gone by.
All right, so let me give my thoughts on that real quick. Now, I understand how odd it seems that, he goes down at whatever it was, 16, 17 seconds left in the fight, and then by the time Fury gets up, there's only like 2 seconds left. So 14, 15, 13 seconds, whatever it is, right? I mean, we're playing with numbers here, but I typically don't go at a ticking clock because, once again, that's not how a knockdown is counted. It is very odd, don't get me wrong. It's kind of like, that is a bit strange. It's 17, now it's 2, or 16 and now it's 2, whatever it is. But again, you can't refer to a ticking like clock. You just can't. I mean, it's too subjective, the way how humans count. Like, I can count to 10 and I'm always going to get there quicker or slower than you, right? That's just the way it is. But again, my issue is this, is that you are at 7, okay? And it's definitely at least 9, if not 10, which makes you wonder. And again, this is a mistake by the referee. This is not Fury's fault per se. He's looking at the referee showing him 6, 7, whatever it is. He thinks he has time. Okay? Just like in the first fight with Jack Reese, he's looking up at Jack Reese when he's laying on his back. And Jack Reese is like 6, 7. He thinks he has time. So the Jack Reese one, we're talking about a second discrepancy here. Like barely a second. I had him up at 9. Dante pointed out that he wasn't quite up yet. It's at 10. Again, subjective. But for this fight and the third fight, I've already done the countdown with you guys. I'm at 9 going to 10 when he's standing up. Okay? So you should, and the haters won't. They're really upset that I'm saying this right now. But you should at least try to understand that why people would complain about this. And as Dante pointed out in his video, it's not just me. It's not just Dante. It's not just like some random YouTube content creators on like Ego or whatever. These are like professional fighters. Andre Ward, UFC fighters, a lot of different people making tweets about this long count. And that should make you feel like, yeah, maybe. Now, we're not trying to tap into cheating conspiracies, but what we should tap into is a blatant mistake by a referee. And the biggest problem and the biggest issue here is that because it is a controversial count and the referee, we have exposed the referee for making a big mistake. If this fight was called in a different way and the referee called it and Wilder wins by knockout, the atmosphere of social media will be completely and utterly different right now. And this is what I was saying earlier that really pisses me off, because we have a controversial count, a mistake by a referee. Fury goes on and wins the fight. And we know that Wilder haters during this fourth round, they were sweating bullets because they're like, Wilder pulled it off. How did he pull it off? He got knocked down. He was hurt. He looked tired. It looked like it was going the way it went in the second fight, and Fury got dropped. Not once, but twice. I myself thought it was over watching it live. I say, it's over. It's over, right? And he gets up again. Now, real time, I'm like, did he seriously just get up? Right? And I was chopping on my boy Brian, and going into the corner, going into that fifth round, and we were like, that shit seemed long. Andre Ward said it live in his live commentary that was a long count. Right after that round finished, he was like, guys, that was a really long count. Right? So it's not just us, as in content creators, that are bringing this up to the forefront. What people have to understand is that if this was called a knockout, this isn't Fury getting up at 6 or 7. Wilder was getting up when he got knocked down the first 2 times at 5, 6, 7, right? Plenty of time. Wilder had plenty of time. Fury was cutting it very, very, very close, right? Which is a gamble, in my opinion, because some referees will call that shit. And that's why I asked the question, if Wilder would have got up at the count, if he was standing up at 9, would the referee call it or not? I don't know. That's up to you guys to decide. But this is not a situation where, because I had some content creators out here. I heard them, Wilder haters. They said, "Oh, well, I don't know why people complain, because when Wilder got knocked down, the referee gave him a lot of time to recover, just like he gave Fury a lot of time to recover." Well, that's fine, but that's not the question at hand. The question at hand is a long count. We're not talking about recovery time after you've already beaten the count. There is a difference. So this is what I'm trying to explain to people, that if you're a Wilder hater or a Fury fan, and let's be honest, there's not very many Fury fans. There's really not. There's a few on YouTube, a few. Most of them just wanted to see Wilder lose. They've came out openly and said, I don't like Fury. I just think Fury's going to win, and I don't really like Wilder. He deserves to lose because he made excuses in the second fight. That's what people were literally saying. And that's what they continue to say. Okay? So, do you really think that these people are going to be objective and look at the count objectively? Probably not. Probably not. But if this was called a knockout, we would be singing a different tune. The vibe will be completely different. The trolls would have disappeared. We would have been celebrating. And yeah, the trolls would have deteriorated. But this is why I get upset. This is why I get upset. Because when Wilder loses, we come on here, we try to make sense of it. It's not excuses, it's making sense of it, because we are actually Wilder fans, okay? We're not just going for Wilder because, we want him to beat Fury. We're actually fans of Wilder. We support the man, right? We've supported his career, not just in this trilogy, but his career. So, just like Pacquiao getting knocked out by Marquez in the fourth fight, Pacquiao fans, I didn't have any problem with Pacquiao fans, making videos trying to make sense of what happened. Oh, he lunged in, he got caught, he was too aggressive. That's what we're doing. This is what we're literally doing right now. And people get so upset at it. Like, they think we're making excuses. No, excuses is saying Pacquiao got knocked out by Marquez because, Marquez loaded his gloves or some shit like that, or Marquez headbutted him, or he was doing shady shit. That's making excuses. What we are saying is as I already pointed out earlier in this stream, Wilder lost, even though the knockdown is suspect in the fourth round. Wilder went on to lose because he brought emotion into the fight. He came in too heavy. He tried to out muscle the much bigger and more skilled man in the inside. He went away from his game plan. He burned himself out, and that's why he lost. And we discussed the weight the weight discrepancy, and we pointed out how more fluid and more active and more stamina endurance that he's had in fights when he weighed 215 and that weight range, right? So we have the right to support our fighter and bring things up and try to make sense of why our fighter, who we support, lost the fight. It's not about making excuses. You can call it excuses because, once again, you want us to concede. You want us to submit. You want us to apologize. You want us to admit that Fury's great and Wilder is a bum and Wilder ain't shit. And you want us to eat our words, like one of the trolls said in here earlier. But explain to me how a skilled fighter, as you like to portray Fury as, get knocked down in four times in 3 fights, and 2 of those knockdowns, he was nearly knocked out. And if you can explain to me how that happened, other than, it's heavyweight division and we all knew Wilder had power. No, I will not accept that response. I will not accept that as an excuse because you refuse to give Wilder credit. Period. I'm not saying that Wilder's more skilled than Fury. I'm not saying he's more experienced than Fury. I'm not saying that Wilder is the better fighter than Fury. But what I am saying is that he is more skilled and he is more dangerous than what you Wilder haters are willing to give him credit for. And I will not accept it. Oh, it's just a heavyweight division. No. Your man got caught and he got put to sleep. And by the grace of the gods, he was brought up from the dead. It is what it is. The man got up fine. But I'm not going to concede the fact that Fury's just this grand master who totally destroyed Wilder. It's not going to happen. You're coming to the wrong place. styles make fights. Fury's always a problem for Wilder, and Wilder is always a problem for Fury. And that's exactly why Fury went and got Sugar Hill, because he knew that if he goes in there like he did the first fight, he would have got knocked out. He had to change his style because Wilder is a threat. Vano's Crew Clips, man, what's good? He says, hey, man, I'm looking forward to your Canelo versus Plant. Hey, I hope you don't leave YouTube, man. I know you're tired of people trolling or say stupid things, but all that is just noise. Why care? I hear you, bro. I don't plan on going anywhere. That's why I'm saying, like, this is the last time I'm making a video about this topic, and I'm never talking about it again. The haters can disappear on their own. They love it when I talk about this because it feeds into their trollish behavior. But I wanted to bring closure to this, and that's what I'm doing in this video, in this live stream, and then it's over. And the next time I talk about Wilder is when Wilder announces his next fight, period. People hate Wilder so much, even though he just lost and put his heart and his life on the line. They still want to step on him. They want to drag his name through the mud. Nothing's going to change that. So there's no point on me talking about it anymore until he announces his next fight. And yes, I will be making a prediction video of Canelo Plant. And by the way, any people out there who made a prediction for Wilder to knock out Fury in the third fight, don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. I'll take the loss officially, as in, like, I got my prediction wrong officially, but I don't feel bad at all because Wilder nearly knocked his ass out. And the referee made a big mistake in the count. And this fight could have been a victory for Wilder very, very easily. So I do not feel bad whatsoever. LaRon Datcher, what's good, man? Thanks for dropping by tonight. Yeah. So, mistake, no. Well, call it what you want to call it. If you think it's rigged, then you think it's rigged. That's on. I mean, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. It's an error for sure. It's let's put it this way. Rather, it's an error, it's a mistake, or it was blatant and rigged. It should be addressed and it should be taken seriously because, like I said, it's not just me. It's not just Dante's Boxing Nation. It's not just Ego. It's not content creators on YouTube. You got Andre Ward. You got several other fighters who have brought this up and they feel like it was a long count. And so when these Wilder haters want to attack us for at least just having a conversation about it, then you need to direct your anger at Andre Ward and all those other people as well. Karma says, I'm not feeling bad because honestly, Tyson didn't give him a fair fight. Shoulder strikes were illegal. Yeah, I mean, shoulder strikes, headlocks, holding the head down, punching him in the face while pushing his head down. A lot of dirty tactics, man. But you know what? Wilder knew this, to be fair. Yeah, Wilder knew this going into the fight, man. He knew how Fury fights. The ref being changed three days before the fight didn't help matters at all. He struggled keeping Fury at bay. He struggled to, deal with two big heavyweights, man. It is what it is. And Wilder haters hate to hear me say that too, but I don't care. Mora is not a good referee to put into a trilogy fight against two men who can't, I mean, they literally, you can probably say they hate each other, okay? And you knew it was going to get dirty. You knew it was going to get grimy. Mora did at times warn Fury with the headlocks and stuff like that. But he still did it. He still did it. So it is what it is. It is what it is, man. But look, I appreciate everybody's time dropping by tonight as we, bring closure to this trilogy. If you joined in late, it'll be uploaded as usual. You guys can scroll it back and listen. But I went back and talked a lot about the first fight. I went in and talked about the third fight again, and I talked about Wilder and coming in heavy and how I feel like that hurt him. We talked about the things that he didn't do. We talked about things that he did do. We talked about a lot of different things tonight just to bring closure to not only the third fight, but to the entire trilogy. So I was hoping to get at least 100 likes tonight. Doesn't seem like we quite made it, unfortunately. So if you haven't hit the like button yet, please go ahead and smash that like button before you get up out of here. We got rid of a handful of trolls tonight, so that's another successful mission. Uproot the trolls and get rid of them. So like I said, please hit that like button, man, before you guys go. Also, if you want to support the channel and be a member of the channel, have access to some nice little perks, and just give the channel a little bit of a donation every month, just for $2. All right, just for $2. There is a link pinned up at the top of this chat. Go ahead and click that link. Stay a part of the conversation, become a member, support the channel, and I greatly, greatly appreciate you. For all of my wrenches putting in that work tonight, dealing with the trolls, I appreciate you guys as well. I know we had to be a little bit heavy-handed tonight, but sometimes it has to be done. It has to be done. So these are my thoughts of this trilogy, the final closure. We're going to move on to bigger things. I'm going to make a video, prediction / breakdown video of Herring and Stevenson. Then Plant and Canelo's coming up. We also have Porter and Crawford. And there's a couple other fights that are not like big highlight fights, but I might talk about those as well. And, it's just been a long journey these past 2 or 3 months talking about this trilogy. And I think it's time we finally put it to rest. And there's nothing we can do to change what has happened. We've brought everything to the forefront. We've talked about the good, the bad, the ugly. And at this point, man, we just have to just be thankful that Deontay's safe. He's healthy. And I think he'll be back. And I'm looking forward to him releasing some type of statement here soon and just let his fans know that he's doing good and he's in good spirits and his family's good. That's what's most important. And for all you haters out there hating on Deontay Wilder, he's laughing in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, living in a house that he built from scratch, able to take care of his family. They're set for life. While y'all over there living your bum-ass life, hating yourself and hating on other people, Deontay Wilder's good, man. So y'all just keep on hating, man. Do what you do. And like I said, I'm closing this chapter, and I'm looking forward to hearing about his next fight and his comeback. And I think he's going to come back with fireworks. I really do. I think he put a lot of time and energy and stress and just trying to figure out a way to beat Fury. He gambled a lot. trying to come in bigger, bringing in a lot of motion, and he got very, 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 very close. Very close. I think that's what hurts him the most, is that he got so close and he just couldn't get that stoppage, man. He couldn't get the referee to waive it. It's split seconds that's hard, man. That's hard. I think it would be much easier to accept if Wilder or Fury went in there and just beat him up like he did the second fight. And I think he would just be like, well, maybe Fury's just so much better than me. You know what I mean? But the fact that he got so close to knocking this man out again, and then he fell short because he just ran out of gas. That's a tough defeat to accept, man. And if anybody's ever been an athlete before and competing at a high level, you should have an understanding. Those who have never competed at a high level will never understand that feeling. So it is what it is, man. I don't know what else to say about it, any more to say about it. Boxing Redemption wants to drop another super chat saying, hey, Divine, happy to support you, man. Sadly, I keep getting blocked by your wrenches. They're a bit too trigger happy. Well, it's not really you, Boxing Redemption, per se, but it is other trolls coming in here talking dumb shit. And then it puts the wrenches on defensive mode, bro. Like, for real. Like, I understand you feel like you're being unjustly removed from the conversation, but at the end of the day, man, you know, it's unfortunate that these people want to come in here and say dumb shit. And my wrenches don't have to put up with that, bro. You know, and so I try to tell people, I try to tell my wrenches all the time, like, let's try to exhibit a little bit of patience with people, but we do have to draw a line in the sand. You know what I mean? Boxing Redemption, you and myself, we've butted heads before. I appreciate the super chats and whatnot, but hopefully we can move on, man, and we don't have to be in this situation anymore. Close this chapter and talk about other big fights and start opening up new conversations and bringing in new people into the family who are respectful, who just want to talk boxing. But sometimes you got to get your hands dirty because the streets of YouTube are very dirty. We're not in a pristine environment. There are a lot of ugly and evil ass people on here. And sometimes you got to get your hands dirty, man. That's just the way it is out here. If you just try to ignore it and act like it doesn't exist, you don't put them in check and things can get disorganized and disorderly. And I'm just not going to have that over here. So every once in a while, I'm going to set up my defenses and it'll get ugly, man. And people will learn to leave me the hell alone. People are going to learn to leave Divine Sense Boxing alone. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much tonight. Like I said, that ends the chapter of the trilogy. Next time I'll be talking about Wilder, unless something crazy happens. I don't plan on talking about it until he announces his comeback, a fight, whatever the case is, and I'll be more than happy to support him. I'm going to continue to support Wilder regardless. I'm a fan of Wilder, win, lose, or draw. I don't backpedal. I don't say, oh, he lost, so he's not good. I'm not going to support him anymore. Nah, I don't do none of that. And if people don't like the fact that I support him, then y'all can kiss my white ass. How about that? I'm out.